So let's take the Supra as a yardstick. I think the Corvette would put offside because that is a moonshot.
Yeah.
Performance-wise, it's in a different league. Not that this is bad, not that that's good. It's just different. That's 60,000 US. The Supra with the 6 is anywhere between like mid 50s to 60. The Supra with the 4 is mid 40s.
Oh.
Where are we falling on that spectrum?
South.
South. As in the first number's the 3?
You know, there's degrees of south. It's
South
it's
Florida.
surprisingly less.
The wheels clearly are different. Although I got to tell you, the white lettering on those tires,
know.
kind of badass.
I'm a little bit upset about that. We can talk maybe over.
We'll talk about
coffee.
that. We're going to get to that over a cigar.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like to point out that I had cigars last night with a real Cuban, not Cuban cigars. Anyway, and the spoiler you added to this as well.
Yes.
What other detail changed?
So the lamp, in full transparency, because this is a U.S. lamp, so the Proto was the Japanese one. And the wing we had, but we decided to just show it in its purest sense.
That wasn't on the Proto.
That was not. We chose not to, but we had it. And because we have a couple of versions of the car. So this one is, of course, this one is the launch edition, but it has the 400 horsepower. So that number 400 was very big emotionally because...
Now, hold on a minute. Are we saying there's going to be different versions of output, or it's all of them are going to be 400 horsepower?
There is versions of Z that don't have the same level of power.
Oh, is that so? Even in the U.S.?
Yeah.
Are we talking about an option that's less than 6 cylinders?
No.
They'll all be 6 cylinders.
Yeah.
It's just tuning a different output.
Yes.
And do we know what this output will be, or is this something you're not going to share with me yet?
You know, because you're asking me means someone didn't tell you.
Apparently.
So in my life, when someone asks a question with a innocent face, means it's an honest question. The people who are behind me constantly didn't decide to share that with you.
I like the semantics here. See, this is we're
This is
both
very
New
important.
Yorkers.
We're New Yorkers and we're negotiating here. It's like a rent deal.
I feel like we're doing some Long Island horse trading. or we're going down to, what's the hotel that Hyman Roth owned in Havana?
Oh, this
Where
was
they had the birthday party.
Yes,
Smaller
on
piece
the
of cake.
balcony of smaller cake, yes.
So what they don't know is you and I are going to be doing a longer, really what we're doing is a longer Inside the MotoMan Studio episode where we learn a lot about it, and that's coming up down the road. But back to the car. So 400 horsepower, 350 pounds of torque, manual, automatic. And then the other thing I noticed inside the car, a lot of the switchgear, specifically the HVAC, door pulls, the not outside, inside, the window switches, looks like it's coming straight from the 370Z.
From our parts bin, yes.
So I'm assuming that's about cost savings. Was that the case?
No, it's, you know, this car, the engine, for example, obviously this engine, the 400, the 3-liter twin turbo comes from another one of our beauties.
One of your cousins.
Yeah, but it didn't have a manual and it didn't have a 9-speed. So there's a lot of effort to change, and then that combination of things in a platform that it wasn't intended to be on. So I had some homework. Peter Brock.
Excellent man.
What a man.
Yeah.
Gentleman.
Absolute gentleman.
Tomorrow-san, which you know, and he's not as a gentleman, but he sent me to LA and to have dinner with Peter Brock and his lovely wife. And they said, you know, you have to talk to Mr. Z and tell him, which is unheard of to actually tell him that I'm making a Z and I want to know what you think. And he said, oh, Alfonso, yeah, you're going to make a nice car. I hope you have fun. Please send me one. Like
Please send you one.
Yeah.
You're gonna
and I'm like,
tear one off the roll.
Okay, I was expecting a list, right? Because, you know, he knows everything. And then Gail, like, he wants you to change the door handles. I go, oh, okay. And I had something, right? Like how? Pull those in. This is a Z. Make it streamlined. He's a racer. Make a car for him. So it's clear, thank you.
When Peter Brock says so,
I
you
picked
got to
up the
do it.
check. I'm going, and I jumped on the plane and I went back to Japan. And that directly, those door handles being sucked back into the car are very much a part of conversation. That's the beauty of Z, is that there are a lot of Z lovers, and they have voices. And some you hear directly, other you get on social media. And it's so much information that
I got to believe that was an expensive detail.
but it's also a mechanically difficult one, because then to make it worse, I have a crease that comes from the fender diving downward, disappears in that new door handle.
Give me an idea, like, is it 50% more expensive, 50% harder to do, or 150% harder to do?
You know, it's a 3 or 4 or 5 magnitudes harder to do. But it's a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
I think this is what Gail was saying that Mr. Brock wanted. And it coincided with this sense I wanted this Japanese minimalism, this.
Okay, so let's tie this together. We talked about some of the bits that are carryovers. And I get it. We've got to save some money. Got to keep these cars alive. I'm assuming the platform is the same?
You know, platform being the same is a funny thing because they're not actually the same ever.
Are we negotiating again?
No, I'm sharing. It's because you have this. Engineers are very passionate, and we want more rigidity. Oh, this thing has 400 horsepower and a lot of torque, actually. So they are modifying. So a platform that's carried over doesn't mean that the final way that things are made. It means that a sheet metal that represented the floor is maybe the same.
Well, let's define it. The hard points, like the wheelbase.
Same.
Same.
Yes.
Wheelbase. The length has changed, correct?
Yes, the nose is longer.
So that gets us to a very important point. You were kind enough to send me the prototype, and I sent you back a wish list. And what was in the wish list?
A couple things. Oh, one was
Two important
a
things.
threat.
One was, okay, let's talk about the threat first.
Threat first?
What was the threat?
Money.
Money, because you know I'm a cheapskate. Well, so are you.
I'm
but
aware
I
of the value of money.
Okay, so what was the specific threat?
Price.
Don't get near the third rail that the Supra violated.
Yes.
You were too close. They're too close to the Corvette in pricing. Now, granted, they didn't know the Corvette would exist when they designed that car.
Yes.
They had 3 months of bliss, and then, how did you put it? Chevrolet had sex with a UCLA cheerleader on their doorstep.
I had never spoken in that manner in my life.
I have a different way.
You
of putting
threatened. It wasn't. It was a brotherly warning.
And so the warning was, don't get near that 60,000 US price tag.
I watched that episode, my dear friend.
What does that
I
mean?
felt nothing because I knew what it actually was going to cost. And I knew that that third rail is nowhere that I can leap even close to.
Okay, so let's talk.
Is that vague enough for you?
Well, I don't like vague.
Oh, you don't like vague.
So let's take the Supra as a yardstick. I think the Corvette would put offside because that is a moonshot.
Yeah.
Performance-wise, it's in a different league. Not that this is bad, not that that's good. It's just different. That's 60,000 US. The Supra with the 6 is anywhere between like mid-50s to 60. The Supra with the 4 is mid-40s.
Oh.
Where are we falling on that spectrum?
South.
South, as in the first number's the 3?
You know, there's degrees of south. It's
South
it's
Florida?
surprisingly less.
Like
It's impressively
10
less.
grand less?
You know, it depends on the fully 400 horsepower.
Yeah.
It's like wow. You know, the ability. Then when you ask me about door handles and all of that, so you would think a door handle doesn't cost very much. When you're focused on making a super car beyond expectations for people, and then you show them that our core belief is that people should be able to afford this car, that this is a democratization of greatness.
Yeah.
This is that one.
Okay, talking about greatness. Next.
Oh, the
warning I
next
get.
thing, yeah.
What
That
was
wasn't a warning.
That was
A
no,
request.
that was a threat. It wasn't a
Oh,
request.
that
It was a threat.
I saw it as a request.
Yeah. I'm not a violent guy. I have other
No.
people that can do these things for
Yeah,
me. Because again, we're both from New. Well, you're not from. I keep on. I think
I'm
you're
from
from
Miami.
From Miami, but you
Thank
spent
you.
enough time.
And you're a Greek.
It wasn't really a promise. It was a threat. What needs to be in this car?
T-tops.
Are we going to make this happen?
There are some things that are earthly but not reachable for humans.
Okay, you realize you're telling me this.
I'm breaking
a month
bad
after
news.
2 men privately got themselves to the moon or to space.
I know.
So
And I
if
feel bad about
Two
that.
guys selling crap from China can go to space. You can get me a hole in the roof of this car.
You would think that.
I know you can.
Yeah. But I think we have to channel our Burt Reynolds in a different manner. And,
I don't want to scream chicken on the car.
no, okay.
But you know what? How about one of those two-tones, like the 10th anniversary? Or even the Z31 anniversary edition?
I think I could tell you this, that I have made in my studio, we use the Dynoc, that film. From the bottom of the side mirror, all the way down to here, I blacked it out, like this 79 edition.
Yes. They had one there last night. That
It
gold
looks
and black.
spectacular. And a little pinstriping because we have that thin tape.
And then the wreath logo,
yeah,
the whole thing.
This looks spectacular like that.
What's standing in our way for a T-bar roof?
Oh, 400 horsepower, huge torque, body rigidity.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry.
The T-bar roof, you can make it happen because you've got the structural rigidity. It's still you maintain it in the roof.
I feel bad that I didn't take it as homework specifically because I thought it was a nostalgia play.
Okay.
And which I am full on with that. I mean, if I'm against nostalgia, I think, I didn't really, I wasn't honest with this car.
I'm going to stop beating you up on this because I think I have not been unclear. You've listened to me about the money, which I'm happy about.
Clear.
I'm intrigued to hear what the real dollars come out, especially how it breaks out with the output. Unless I'm missing something, I did not see details of these differing output. What we got from Sanjay last night was 400 horsepower, 350 pounds of torque.
Yes.
That's all we got. We'll look at this down the road, open this up. This is the point of the episode where we turn this around to the audience for them to opine in the comments below. But now that you're sitting here and you are confirming that you actually do watch these episodes and listen to what they're saying.
Yes. And I read the comments. Some are a little bit harsh. But
no one said anything bad about you.
Really? But they say bad things about you sometimes.
They do. They do. They don't like my socks sometimes, and I wore my special socks for you today. Did you know that my nephew designed this shirt, my 7-year-old nephew?
He's a prodigy.
He is. I want you to give him a job.
Okay. This is, we can do this.
What do you want to know from the audience? What input do you want from them?
First, it sounds silly what I'm saying. I want to know how they feel about it. Do they like the car? Because everyone has an image of what a next Z should be.
You're in a difficult spot with a Z. It's like a 911. It's like an S-Class. It's like an F-150. If you get something wrong, the mobs will chase you down.
I spent a lot of time with the rectangular grille. I read a lot about that. I use the word love, which maybe is a little bit corny, but people love
Trust
Z.
me, he's a corny guy.
People love Z.
They do. I love Zs.
And it's a personal relationship. So I want to know if they feel personal about it.
Okay.
Or is it an unemotional thing and then we really failed them?
So comments below about the personal connect. Does this connect with you personally? And then this is, of course, the point of the episode where I have to ask them. We'd greatly appreciate your help with the algorithm. What does that mean? That's, of course, commenting to share with you. But it also means hitting the like button, subscribe notifications. And then before we go, a little fun fact you want to share with them about yourself?
That I adore you. My era.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was fascinated with the wardrobes of Napoleon. And so my college days, I dressed like Napoleon. So please, now, everyone comment about how much of a fool I am. Thank you very much. Thank you for bringing that up.
On that note, you're going to have to wait till inside the MotoMan studio for that. I'll see you guys in the next episode.
Thanks.